Hey guys, good morning, red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. You're here to follow Paparazzo and Otinho, right, son? We're here bringing news about Mango. There's a lot for us to talk about. There are some really exciting moments for me to share too. Yeah, do you want to talk too? He always wants to join in. If you're just arriving here, I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. And if you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down below. Click the bell for notifications and leave a like on the video. We're here to remind you that you can do it today, okay? It already started at 9 in the morning. At all Mais Cabelo locations in Rio de Janeiro, there's a Mais Cabelo near you. All over Brazil, you can join the My Slim program for weight loss and also hair treatment. But today especially, it's a special event, a brunch from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., and you can be there. You can participate and get free evaluations at Mais Cabelo all over Rio de Janeiro. At all the clinics in Rio de Janeiro, you can take the opportunity to check it out right now. So hurry up and go there, right? Big Saturday with brunch at Mais Cabelo. Look, I also want to remind you that Haroldo's Caravan takes you to Flamengo's games in the Copa Libertadores, and there are already packages for the games in Cusco, right? The package costs around 7,000 reais in installments, and you can also plan a trip to Machu Picchu, man. That's really cool. So get in touch with Haroldo's Caravan. They've been serving Flamengo fans for many years, man. Really many years. They even organized a package for the 1981 Club World Cup, you know? There's a world title, right? Not like some who don't have a world title, right, man? So you can also book a package to Rio de Janeiro, including local assistance and a ticket with Haroldo's Caravan. Call them, you won't regret it because they have a strong commitment to Flamengo fans. Man, I was watching a video here telling the story of Ronaldo, the phenomenon with Rodrigo Paiva, some moments there, right? In the final scenes of Brazil's fifth World Cup title, the ones that immortalized Ronaldo at a World Cup, the phenomenon bowed his head. And then I was watching here the moment when Ronaldo leaves the field, right? And watching it, first there's a hug, an emotional release, him staring off into space there with Ronaldinho Gaucho. And all of this made me think here, look, he's thinking about the last 4 years that have passed in his life, right? And all of this made me think a lot about the moment we're living with the Brazilian national team. The moment of, look, this hug with Ronaldinho. If Ronaldo Fenomeno couldn't come through, Ronaldinho would. If neither of them could, Rivaldo would. If Rivaldo couldn't solve it, there was always someone else to get it done. Rivaldo, someone to get it done. During that whole time, even up to 2006, whether Brazil lost the 1998 or 2006 World Cup, they still had an amazing team. Yeah. And then looking at this, I started thinking, you know, and seeing Rodrigo Paiva there too, who was the guy in charge of all that, and today he's at Flamengo. You can be sure that this guy here, this Rodrigo Paiva, this guy here who's now at Flamengo, is largely responsible for this new period of victories for Mengao. Besides being a lucky charm, he's also competent. He handled many things for Ronaldo. Look, a lot of people don't pay attention to this. They don't see this documentary that shows what Rodrigo Paiva did for Ronaldo, for Brazil, how much he took part in the recovery and how much he contributed to the well-being, to maintain the well-being of that group. And today I realize that he tries to do this at Flamengo. We're really happy, man. I wanted to start this video by thanking Rodrigo Paiva for everything he's done for me that people don't know about. I started out as a press officer. I was the press officer for Felipe Melo, Andrezinho, Juan, and Reynaldo. I worked with several soccer players, and Rodrigo Paiva was a guy I looked up to. And I wanted to mention this here for a reason, because I looked up to him since he was the ultimate example of a competent professional. And then there came a point when I lost my way. I've never shared this, but I was once a paparazzo photographing international celebrities. And then I would see Rodrigo Paiva passing by in Leblon, and I would take pictures, record it, and all that. And I kept thinking, what am I doing here, man? I look up to Paiva as an example of what it means to be a great press officer, a great journalist. What am I doing here with this camera in my hand as a photographer, as a paparazzo? And that was a shock to me, you know? It was a shock to me. So, why am I talking about this? First, to praise Flamengo for bringing in a professional like him who definitely plays a big part in everything. All these recent victories of the club. He helped to lead everything, helped to solve problems. And people don't even know it, but he helped to solve problems. Let me just adjust the camera here. And people don't even know he helped to solve a lot of things recently. He's a guy with a lot of connections. He's someone who helps Flamengo, especially with the relationship with the CBF and the federations. So I also wanted to say thank you and give this message. Never give up on your dreams. Today, I'm here, fulfilling the dream of becoming a father again. I'm emotional, sorry. Fulfilling the dream, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to cry. I'm living my dream of becoming a father again. At 47 years old, fulfilling the dream of doing what I love. And a lot of that is thanks to love, to the examples we get in life from amazing people like Rodrigo Paiva. Thank you, Rodrigo. Congratulations on your work at Flamengo, which doesn't get much attention. But sometimes great professionals don't need a lot of attention. Great professionals don't need a lot of attention. That's the truth. What you do already says a lot about you. The success at the place where you work, everything Flamengo has done recently, that really says a lot. Thank you. Everything Flamengo has won while you are there already tells me a lot about you. Well, it was a venting video, an important moment. We're going to start with the Flamengo news now. Check this out. We had BAP giving an interview to Mengo Cash, and he said some very important things. One of them is that he believes Alashin is going to crush it. With Leonardo Jardim's arrival also comes the expectation that Alassian will take off. So BAP, he talked about that. I think this year Alashin is going to crush it. He can play in any position up front. He's fast, has stamina. If you bring in those players that the fans want just for immediate results, you block the development path for the youth players. Each kid matures at a different age. Flamengo doesn't have the same need it once did to sell players to make money. Maybe we'll give the kids more time to break through here. So some kids will be chosen. And Alessian, he almost left for 10 million euros to Red Bull Bragantino. He could be one of them. He said that no club in Brazil or South America has made as many signings in both quantity and quality as we have in the last 9 months. We made an effort to bring in younger players with a very low injury history who could add to the squad. Flamengo doesn't just sign any player. Flamengo signs the player. When you have a specific target, the product becomes more expensive because the market starts to see you operate this way. We've worked to minimize mistakes in the profiles we bring in. We learn from our mistakes. Many times that player isn't available on the market when you want. Like in the case of Caio Jorge, we don't go to the mall to buy a shirt and come back with the pants that were on sale. We try to bring in that player who will fit perfectly into the squad. For each position, we need 2 athletes, not to mention problems that might happen. We have to bring in players who play to win it all over the full 90 minutes. We always plan for what's ahead. It's not that we had a mediocre transfer window. You need money and a clear idea of what you want. How many great strikers are there in the world available for us to sign? The striker we want costs between 32 and 40 million euros. That's just to be Pedro's backup. It's about squad management. We don't sign just one isolated player anymore. So Flamengo, with BAP making that clear, they're looking for a striker costing between 32 and 40 million euros. It's important for us to bring this up here because as we evaluate the interviews, we start to notice the profile they're looking for. This comment about Alassian is very important, but especially what Babe said about the profile Flamengo is looking for. And that Flamengo has a budget of between 32 and 40 million euros to sign a forward who will be a substitute. He will compete for a spot with Pedro. That statement from Babe was very good. Ah, yeah. We also had that happen at the last minute. The transfer window closed. Now the state championship window has closed too. After Cruzeiro showed interest in Gonzalo Plata and even made an offer, Flamengo, through Jose Boto, tried to include the left back Kayke Bruno in the talks to make a deal possible. So the proposal involved a loan swap until the end of the year, but the Minas Gerais club did not accept the terms and the negotiation did not move forward. So, since it's already over, the transfer window is closed, it probably won't move forward even in the middle of the year. So, the window is already closed. There's no way to sign anyone right now, not even in the middle of the year for Cruzeiro. Yeah, yeah, they're not interested. They didn't accept the terms. Flamengo, to release Gonzalo Plata, wanted Kayke Bruno. So one important thing for us to mention is that Flamengo is looking for a fullback. Flamengo tried to get the fullback from Corinthians. Now it proves that when they went after Gonzalo Plata, they also tried for Kayke Bruno, a left back. So Flamengo is in the market looking for a left back. Flamengo is still looking for a left back, but now since the transfer window has already closed, it's just important for us to know the targets. You've already seen that Flamengo has a left back as a target, and there's the matter of Kayke Bruno. Cruzeiro really didn't accept it, and since the transfer window has already closed too, there's no way to get it anymore. Come to daddy. Come to daddy. Come to daddy. Is it open from me here now? He's really on a roll. He's really on a roll. He wants to pay attention to everything. Look at that. Globo Esporte confirmed our information. Flamengo wants to renew the contracts of Rossi and Leo Pereira. I told you it would be at the end of the year. And they confirmed the salary increase I'd already told you about. We've always been bringing this information to you. That the raise was a long-standing demand. Rossi and Leo Pereira, they had a salary disparity compared to other players, so the board indicated that this should go ahead. Globo Esporte doesn't report this as already having happened. The information we have is that they've already given the salary increase and that at the end of the year, they'll renew the contracts. But the most important thing is this: Globo Esporte confirming our information about the salary increase. About Rossi and Leo Pereira, which we had already reported here to you. And at the end of the year, Flamengo should be renewing the contracts of both players. I'll talk about Saul. Flamengo expects to have Saul back now in April. The midfielder is even being praised internally for his dedication to his recovery. He's about to be cleared for physical training, and he is looking forward to returning to training with the group next month. He underwent surgery, and we should have Saul back in April, already getting ready for the Copa Libertadores. Look, we were telling you that the transfer window has closed, and Flamengo has also closed the window for the state championships without signing a striker. I told you that Flamengo wouldn't sign a striker. Those who follow here remember that I said Flamengo wouldn't try to sign a striker in the national market. I even mentioned here the amount BAP said they have available to spend, and it's a player from the international market. It's a high-level player. Someone like Caio Jorge. In Brazilian football, it would be someone like Caio Jorge. But then Flamengo is going to pursue this signing. And I had told you that in the national market, Flamengo would be very unlikely to sign this striker in the domestic market. I also want to let you know, you who are here with us, that I have YouTube shopping products. You can really help Flamengo a lot by getting YouTube shopping products. The Black Diamonds jersey here, which is beautiful. Personalized jersey, no one gets away without paying up. The current long sleeve jersey. You can get all of this now on YouTube shopping. On Shopee, you're always supporting Flamengo because it's official merchandise. So I put all the Mango products here. Mango's products. It's not easy. It's not easy. I have fun, man, because we have to be very happy, very happy. Like we've always been happy with. Yeah. A Praça é Nossa. I saw yesterday Carlos Alberto receiving the jersey as a gift. It was on A Praça é Nossa, on SBT. Sensational. The sacred jersey. He said he's been a Flamengo fan since childhood. Very cool. But that's it, okay? So you get the products. It helps. Official products. You help Flamengo a lot. I'm here to bring you some important information. Check it out. I'm still going to talk about some parts of BAP's interview. Yeah. According to journalist Mauro Cesar Pereira, Flamengo doesn't have legal grounds to end the partnership with BRB, even after the questions raised by Congressman Ricardo Vale about the contract renewal amid the case involving Banco Master. The club emphasized that it maintains another active agreement with the bank, established for the creation of Banco Nação in 2020, which is valid until 2029. This makes a unilateral termination impossible at this time. In addition, in the new sponsorship deal featured on the jersey, Flamengo is expected to receive 42.6 million by March 2027. So there is no legal basis to end the partnership with BRB. Even with the questions raised by Congressman Ricardo Vale about the contract renewal in the midst of this Banco Master case, so man, Flamengo is doing its thing, changing. In fact, now it's Flamengo. Flamengo has to do this, man. Flamengo has its sponsors, regardless of what happened. So I think it's important for us to bring this information from Mauro Cesar. Check this out. Sports Center. Bruno Andrade reported that Flamengo's goalkeeper, Leo Nanetti, is getting inquiries from Europe. It's important for us to talk about this. Leo Nanetti is getting inquiries from Europe. He's an extremely promising player. He was called up by Ancelotti to help with the Brazilian national team's training sessions. So, guys, I think it's really important for us to always bring this kind of information because he's a young guy. Man, even if we think, oh, but he's not even playing professionally, this is news because goalkeepers hardly ever get opportunities. As a goalkeeper, you have Rossi, Andrew, and Diogo. Leo Nanetti. Man, being a goalkeeper is a very thankless profession. It's hard to get an opportunity. Well, let's go. Let's talk about the Gonzalo Plata situation. Ronaldo Angelim. He took a stand and called out Gonzalo Plata. We've already talked here about Gonzalo Plata from Flamengo. They're trying to trade him for Kayke Bruno. Ronaldo Angelim called out Gonzalo Plata, and I'll even show you the part where he starts dancing. He danced afterwards. But the criticism, take a look. He talked about unfollowing Flamengo, deleting the photos. Let's check it out.
Yeah, Plata, why did you unfollow Flamengo, man? Don't do that. You're playing for the club. You unfollowed the club. You haven't even left the club yet. You didn't even want to leave. You weren't supposed to do that. Respect the fans. Damn, taking everything so seriously. You put in great effort and earned respect, but after this, you've lost it. But that's how it is, right? You're just acting with your little hand there.
Then he's going to be in trouble. He's going to be in trouble. Yeah, my friend, Ronaldo Angelim, such a legend, right? Such a legend. Speaking about disrespect, about deleting the photo. And it's another situation that Paiva will have to handle, right? Rodrigo Paiva, together with Leonardo Jardim, will have to handle Bodo. They'll have to agree. Yeah. They'll have to handle another situation like this one that Ronaldo Angelim spoke out about. Man. And the guy is an idol, right? He knows very well how much he values Flamengo. He would never unfollow Flamengo and all that. Ronaldo Angelim did really well there. Yeah. I thought it was interesting for us to bring up here that BAP talked about the airplane issue, right? Flamengo. Flamengo has an airplane. Hey, Leila, Flamengo's getting a plane. Check it out.
To have an aircraft solely for Flamengo, let's make a contract for 3 years, 4 years. Let's guarantee 30, 35 flights for a company. And he brings the plane knowing that we're going to use the aircraft. And this aircraft, if everything works out, will stay in Madeira. It stays on the ground in Rio and it takes off whenever we want. So it's officially Aeroflot. The idea is eventually to even create a marketing product that's not just a game, but for you to say, look, Aerofly is a product you buy for all Flamengo trips to anywhere in Brazil. Instead of just having an Aerofly, you would have the stylized aircraft. Anyway, that would be cool.
So Flamengo wants to have a stylized aircraft, the real Aeroflaw, with the stylized aircraft. So we also had BAP. Yeah. Speaking about the broadcast, it's also cool to mention that Flamengo TV plans to broadcast all Flamengo games this season. All Flamengo games this season. Right, Totinho? Flamengo TV wants to broadcast all Flamengo games this season. Check it out. I found that interesting. When they realize...
Because the time will come when Flamengo will be able to broadcast all of its own games. And when that day comes, João, we can't have any mistakes like this. So more games will come. We're making the broadcast better streaming quality, a better commentary. Do you notice this evolution? You're there every day. Sometimes the consumer, the one watching, doesn't notice. It's better, but they don't know why. It's because there are a lot of things that keep getting better and better. So I just like this moment to be by the end of 2027. Yeah, me too. I think it would be closer. We're getting ready, and a lot of good things are coming. Flamengo TV has many new features beyond game broadcasts that I won't reveal yet, but they're on the way. But you can be sure that Flamengo will be ready. And then when 2029 comes around, the other clubs that didn't get ready will say, Evil Mengao, give me some of your money. So while I'm working for 5 years to learn, being criticized, being ridiculed at times, when things work out in the future, I'll say, man, but Flamengo wants everything for themselves. But we're investing, we're getting ready.
Getting ready. That's it. That's it. BAP is doing very well, right? And he also said that they do a careful evaluation of the companies. And that's why Flamengo has 475 million in sponsorships on their uniform and the others have 130. He said that because Flamengo thoroughly evaluates every company featured on their uniform. It's not just for a year and then gone. He wants a true partner. He looks for companies that will truly make a difference for the company and for Flamengo itself. So he gave a marketing lesson and showed why do companies come to Flamengo and stay sponsoring Flamengo for years? Because Flamengo delivers results. He looks for a company that will be good for both sides. So BAP gave a lesson. It was spectacular. We also talked in our video last night about everything BAP said, and you can watch it in full there, on YouTube, on MangoCast, on Flamengo TV, all right? I invite you to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, leave a like on the video. Thank you very much for being with us. Yeah, Otinho, greetings Bruneros, this is Flamengo. And me, and me, and me, and me, and me, and me.